All right, we're up and going for this portfolio review webinar.
Yay. Excellent stuff. Now, okay, so what's you have on the screen, all the portfolios, Cal?
Yes, 1, 2, and 3 are up here.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. So thank you for everybody for submitting your portfolios. This is Mario from Vancouver Animation School and Calvin LeDuc, Hair Faculty.
Hi, guys.
We'll be reviewing portfolios for the programs. Typically would be drawings, sketches, animation, reels, whatever you submitted. And Calvin has the screen sharing on, and he's going to be showing the portfolios, and we'll be just commenting on what it's a good portfolio for admissions.
All right, well, this first submission includes a piece of animation, which is really rare to get students that want to go into animation that already know some animation. So that's great when we do see it. And we're seeing some nice stretch and squash here. This little cube going up and down.
Yeah.
And it's like it's 3-dimensional. Well, it's 2D animation, but we can literally see through the object, which is quite interesting as well.
Yeah, I like this one. Yeah.
It's good timing, right? It's slow ins, slow outs.
Yeah.
Maintaining volume. It's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, so next one, I just have to always click through these. This would be a front model sheet, front view. We're seeing the line work. We're seeing color, which shows they know how to do digital color, probably digital drawing as well, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good color scheme.
Yeah, this portfolio, let me just mention a couple of things, Cal. So this portfolio is by Allison, and she's from Peru, and she is applying for the 2D computer animation. That's why she's sending that portfolio that matches the requirements for the 2D program. And you can see that she's from Peru, and you can see now the influence from that country on this
costume.
Yeah, model sheet. So nice.
It is what you would do in the course, which is learning the basic principles of animation, and you're also going to be designing characters, and you're going to be modeling and rigging and animating them later, right?
Yeah.
It's a good model sheet. We get to see, typically they use a head as a measurement, unit of measurement, and then we see 1, 2, 3, 4.5 heads high. Some nice dimensionality in the feet, a bit of a 3/4, a front view, a prop like a hat, costumes. Sometimes you even have to learn how to draw the character without the clothes to know what's going on underneath, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
How it hangs and stuff like that.
Anatomy was, yeah. I will only say Allison that she's there on the chat. Try to have the line that is pointing at the feet. You want to have that exactly at the feet. It seems to be lower than the feet, so you want to have the heights on the head stall exactly from the head all the way to the feet, like not below. Anyhow, but yeah, this is really good though. I like it.
All right, are we done with this image?
Yeah.
All right, next one. So this is a 3/4 angle view, which it's important to know how to draw a 3/4 angle. It's typically you'll first start with a front view of a character and a side view, and then figure out what does it look like halfway between those two.
Yeah.
So it's incorporating perspective, right?
Yeah.
Dimensionality.
Yeah, interesting, because this one has what you were mentioning before, that the see-through component, right? Below the clothes, right? You can see the anatomy, you can see the legs.
There's some transparency in this long skirt.
And
it's almost a pose as opposed to a model sheet because of the hand being, you know, angled and up. And
yeah, I like it though. It's fairly realistic. You see the head stall, human proportions. So this would be something for a realistic 2D animation show for sure.
Yeah, this would appear on would be a pose model sheet, because there's been thought put into even the tilt on the angle of the shoulders in order to raise that arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good job, Alison. Good stuff. Moving on. Let's see. Nice.
Okay, this one's fully colored, and it looks like there's texture involved as well, right?
Yeah. This is more conceptual art. I don't see this that you maybe animated, but it's a nice exercise, right? Lighting,
I think there's
coloring.
a pattern down here in the skirt.
Yeah, filters. Yeah, nice hand pose on the holding that umbrella.
It's
Right.
nice to show hands,
Photo. Yeah.
because they are a difficult subject matter.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It would be nice to see the other hand. Let's see now that she has also a snowman jump. Let's see that one.
This student must have taken our intro course. I remember
Mm.
reading it off and going, and they said, yes, I took a course with you. So this is one of our exercises, the snowman jump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it says yes. So Alison, she took the intro course at Vanas.
So that would make her eligible, because this is clearly a passing portfolio, all the work in it, that she'd be eligible then to come and do the diploma course for 2D animation.
Yeah. Great work, Alison. Good stuff. So this would be a portfolio that gets you admission to that program, to the animation program.
Yeah, I'm seeing some shadow, simplified character, which I'm sure she designed the prop, the hat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Okay, so thank you, Alison. Next person would be, who do you have, Cal?
It's Paolo, Mario.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna just click through and just move this out of the way. Okay.
So he's from Argentina, and he is applying for the concept art program.
So here's a prop. Right, somebody's sword. It's a stylized sword. It's actually quite a fantasy sword because it's segmented, which is interesting. It's like a magical sword.
Yeah, you can see the scale versus the human silhouette,
which is important. And again, just the but you worked with a, what do we want to call it, a colored background, so that the color of the actual prop is displayed a little nicer, because imagine a white sword on a white piece of paper. It wouldn't work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next piece. This is a combination of a character with an environment. I like the intricate design work. It's kind of a church motif, I would say.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see a little bit more dimensionality. Right?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, that it's a flat horizon line on the background. It would be nice to see some perspective, but it looks like it's more a again, a lighting coloring assignment, right? You can see the eyes of the character. Gives me a bit of an anime impression, but it's so nice. I think you can feel the volume, the highlights, the specular color. If you scroll down, Cal, I think there's more.
Well, they're working very, it's a tonal rendering, right? It's just black and white, guys, right? Wow, maybe a tiny bit of blue in the eyes.
Yeah.
So there's a close-up just on the character.
Yeah.
And it is good to see, like you were saying, that they're figuring out shadows and highlights.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. And that's the background on a separate layer. Yeah, lots of work, right? Lots of detail on all those ornaments on the it's almost like a handrail.
Yeah, there's a lot of especially in Europe, I found places where they'll make rails and fences very,
Yeah,
they make it so that you can't sit on top of anything.
yeah,
They put all these sharp spikes, so it's a cultural thing.
yeah. There you go. So he's from Argentina. I'm not sure from where, but you know, Argentina has largely an European influence.
Mhm.
And then Paulo, he's there on the chat. You know, he may be able to fill in some of the gaps that we're talking about. Yeah, great work, Paulo.
And the character is very anime influenced. I know a lot of young people are very into anime. I'd say it's a good start, but you definitely want to push the boundaries past just making your characters look like they're anime.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Okay, moving on, moving on.
Can you see this?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, it looks like it's a preliminary rough. There's nothing wrong with showing roughs occasionally to see your work progress.
Yeah,
This one feels very fantasy influenced, right? I think, I don't know if we're seeing kind of earth-based in the middle, above it more heaven-based,
yeah,
and underneath maybe even the opposite, right? Destruction, the
yeah.
inversion of it.
Yeah, I like it because it's very conceptual, and that's the program that he chose, concept art. So imagination, right? That's what they have in these programs. The ability to imagine something that doesn't exist,
New worlds, yeah.
making that believable with what you see on that reflection down there. So it's almost like two worlds. Same idea, Paulo. If you can have maybe a bit more perspective, that you stay away from this full front two-dimension angle, like you can have more just more depth. I think that would be a good thing for Paulo from the previous and in this one as well.
Yeah, yeah. You're either tilting stuff up or down. You want to see the dimensionality a bit more, you know.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, next
Let's
image.
move on. Yeah, there's more people on the chat, and then there's more portfolios to review.
All right. This is again a character. This would be a pose because, and we're seeing a neat costume. I see there's actually a headpiece,
Yeah,
cape, casting a spell above him, kind of effects, very concept, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the model sheet right there, the full front, the back angle. And there's two backs. There's one with the a cape with the claws, and then one without it.
And also the additional footwear is very clever.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And there you go. So profile view. Look at the arm. That's nice.
And a prop here. Is this a staff? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're on the right track. More depth. That's what I would say. Making your designs feel more three-dimensional. That would be a nice thing for your next step.
This one feels a little bit like multimedia to me. I feel like I'm looking at either codaliths or layers of maybe live action imagery. This looks like a real tree. This looks like dead trees layered on top, and then maybe hand-drawn grass at the bottom.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. All right, moving on.
This is definitely just a headshot, right? I mean, I like to see usually more of the entire character, and hands and feet sometimes. Move on past this.
Yeah, move on. Let's do one more for Paulo, and then move on to a different person.
Okay.
Because there's more on the chat waiting for reviewing.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's pretty awesome as well. This one almost looks like pencil and paper. Would it be? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it looks more traditional medium. It's nice to see the character and then the character with the costume, right? The helmet.
Yeah.
Okay, and props. Okay, so you want to move on. I'm just going to take this
one. Yeah, thanks, Paulo. Thank you. You have a lot of work. Thank you. Good stuff. Ooh, bunny.
Okay, this student, did you want?
Yeah, okay. Let me see. Who's that name? Is it Tatiana?
Yeah, Tatiana, that's it. So,
So Tatiana, we just mentioned this. She's Canadian. She's applying for the 2D computer animation diploma.
mhm,
Right, so you can see now the influence is different from country to country, right? So Canadian, you can see a lot more volume on this.
mhm. And this is a cartoony animal, which I think half of what you'll do when you're working in animation is animals. So if you like drawing animals, it's a big plus.
Yeah.
It's a very stylized pose, you know.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really good work.
A character, very ornate, kind of headdress with flowers.
Yeah, I like the expression, like the facial expression is so good. And she has a bit more grasp on that three-dimensionality on the if you look at the head,
Mm-hmm.
right, feels more the structure feels more solid. That's good.
I would probably say give us more of the character too. It just feels like we're seeing the heads and not the whole body would be nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah, this is more like a close-ups. Yeah, we want to see medium shots, or we want to see the actual full body pose sheet.
that shows the correct proportions, the structure, the pose, and those difficult to draw things that students often will just try to hide, which is hands and feet.
Yeah. Yeah, go to the go one more down, Cal. You can see one about hands, like this one right there.
Mm-hmm.
This one's so nice.
Almost feels like it's been cropped, that there might have been more to show.
Yeah, yeah. And again, she has that influence, anime/manga influence.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to be a 2D animator.
Yep.
So I think her designs they fit nicely the 2D animation program for sure.
And
Okay, I can totally see this one in movement.
these ones have a nice finished feel too, in terms of a bit of a suggestion of an environment, and they're interacting with environments and props, right? Even this is another character, these fish, koi fish or something, right?
Yeah.
All right. Are we done?
Yeah. Thanks, Tatiana. Great work. More. So for the rest of the people that are attending, just try to show the full body.
Where do I see the other work, Mario? Because I only saw these many
So she only
portfolios.
has this. She only has this, like that. Tatiana, she's the only one. It's just one single page, and then you've done the whole thing, Cal.
Okay, what about Q&A? There's a question up here.
Yeah, I can look into this. Okay, chat's disabled. Yeah, I know. Q&A, that's the only way to interact for now. It is a webinar, a one-way I guess direction. And it says this is from Paulo, this is from the previous portfolio. And he says, I try to add more background with my perspective and angles. Oh, sorry, with perspective and angles. Also more poses, more characters. And as you could see, I am very influenced by anime and manga. And he thanks you a lot, Cal. Thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
Paulo, yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, and for the rest of the attendees, yeah, feel free to type your questions on the Q&A. There's no chat, but you can type the questions and then we'll read them out loud, just like we did right now. Okay, who else do you have, Cal?
Those were the portfolios. One we didn't actually look at because it wasn't a student portfolio. Anytime we have these webinars, which is quite often, please only submit student work. We're not going to comment on professionals. We're not a studio, we're a school, and we want people to send their work so that they have the opportunity to enter into a school. Lots of schools, ours as well, look at students' portfolios before they come, right? They
Yeah.
want to get somebody that already has an interest in art that they've been practicing, right? It's very important. You can't just wake up and go, tomorrow I shall be an artist.
Yeah. Cal, before you show that one, there's one more that we missed. So here's a very important note. Like there's submissions from other attendees, but they don't have a link, right? So that's a big lesson for anyone to learn. If you apply for the submission or you send a portfolio to somebody, make sure that you include the link. This would be from Ana Maria. She's from Chile, and she has the whole submission. It says link to the portfolio, and then there's no link. So anyhow, that would be something that make sure that you send the link. The one that you missed, Cal, is the last one's called Yaua.
Let me take a look here.
Yeah, Yaua. She's from
all right.
She's from France. Yeah, a pretty good portfolio.
Copy. Paste. Okay, it's a PDF. All right, so this is more like a resume,
but
right?
open the next PDF has the images. That yeah.
Can I get larger on this? All right, so there's different characters. Looks like a anthropomorphic cow that's standing.
Mm-hmm.
And the same with below it, pirate cow or cow with a patch. Characters in an environment. They look like they're all digitally created, right?
Yeah.
A character with clothes characters that have costumes that have a lot of texture.
I was mistaken, Cal. She's not from France. She's from Africa.
Okay.
She speaks French. She's from Côte d'Ivoire. So you can see now the influence.
Poses that are working with props, which I encourage as well, right? A character with the different props, with a table, tools on it. Characters, male, female, young, old, that's all good, right? You want to show a variety. If all your characters look like the same character but with different color hair, it's not very impressive. This impresses me when I can see, oh, you're doing grandfathers, parents, uncles, children, interesting costumes, and you're working with color as well. So we can see what's your color sense for the environments. Comments, Mario?
I like it. I like the you see the isometric view from the one on the middle.
Yeah, the table.
Yeah, the carpenter, kind of like a character. I like that a lot. You can see that she's using the same perspective on the one above, on that restaurant or what it is. Someone's proposing. I think he has a ring or something like that.
Yep.
That's awesome. I like that. You can see that she's getting also to know more like computer software. The coloring feels quite electronic, like the gradients. She has to work more on that stuff for sure. But like all the rest is so nice. I think just an idea of getting away from the full flat profiles, getting more into 3D in the angles. So I think that would be a really good thing though. Like the one that everyone's on the bottom left, where everybody's just gathering and chit-chatting. That's so good though. Like that's what you want to see, like more composition. She is applying, let me see one sec. She's applying for the 2D animation program as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like just seeing the cultures from different countries. This one, she's from Africa. You've seen Peru, you've seen Argentina, and you see how every portfolio has the influence from their own country. So great work. I think this is also fitting the 2D animation program. And the reason I'm saying that is because sometimes they want to do a program like, let's say 3D, but they don't send any 3D pieces, right? They don't send any evidence that they have interest in doing that. So this one fits or matches perfectly what they want.
And
Yeah.
from everything that we know, the industry in Africa is really exploding, right? It's building. They need lots of talent. They need lots of people. So
yeah.
And
so I have a question here on the chat that they're asking, how do I add more 3D, like more perspective? Like, what would you recommend, Cal, for some of the portfolios that are they simply flat?
well, I think studying environments, and usually man-made environments like interior or exterior of buildings, is where you're starting to learn about, oh, this is what happens when you aren't drawing just the front and just the side, but you're doing a 3/4, right? It's involving vanishing points and perspective, and 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective. You're learning about how things converge off in the distance, and how when you look up, they converge towards the top of your imagery. Once you have the environments, because then you can start coming up with rooms to put your characters in, or furniture and props. What does a chair look like, right? That's a 3/4 angle. What does a table look like when it's working with perspective, and the legs are converging and stuff like that? Then you can put your characters into these environments and draw them with perspective as well, right? You want to stay away from exactly the same with those buildings. You want to stay away from just front all the time and just side all the time. What does it look like when I have, one eye's bigger, one eye's smaller, right? The angles of the face, the proportions, the planes. That's all really important, right? If I have my hands here, this hand's going to be bigger and this one's going to be smaller. You got to learn to draw that.
Yeah. Now, Cal, would you like to show the other portfolio that you're saying, or you want to have, we have more questions. What do you want?
No, go for the questions. We only have a few minutes. This is the only one I think remains.
A question that I have is that, should I study 2D or concept art?
Oh, my advice always is, what excites you? What do you love doing, right? If it's just designing, I don't just designing, but if designing is what excites you, if one day you're doing a building and the next day it's a character and next day it's a prop, then it's concept. But if it's, you just love drawing things over and over and over again, and you're doing characters with different expressions, you like telling a story, you like putting on a performance, that's animation, right? Myself, I had to think, what did I really like? And I loved movies, I liked storytelling, I liked comics, I loved drawing characters over and over and over again. I didn't know how to move them, but I liked comedy. And when I put all that together in my head, it was like, this sounds like animation. I want to be able to give a performance. I don't want to be on the stage. I want to be behind, right, with drawing and computers. And that's what I did. And for animation, when you go to school, you got to realize at the start, it's going to be a little bit boring because you're learning the software, you're learning the principles. But then when you know all that, you're going to get better by working with characters.
Yeah, I would also add that for the when choosing 2D or 3D, because there's this question about 3D animation, so try to see what's happening also like in your country. Some countries, like what we've seen so far, like Peru and Argentina, they're hugely on 2D animation. If you go to the US or Canada, you're going to see a lot more 3D animations. Try to see also that ecosystem in your country. So when you come and study 2D animation at Vanas, then you can work with that technique in your country. right? That's an important decision. And again, all the from Mexico and below, they seem to be very heavily invested in 2D animation. From the US and Canada, then you're going to see a lot more 3D animation. So think about that as well. More
Good
questions.
advice.
More questions would be: is concept art is that the same as anime?
No. It's the easy answer. Concept art in animation, everything has to be designed. Everything, the buildings, the costumes, the characters, every prop, right? Whether it's a chair or a spoon, everything has to be designed. Vehicles, weapons. So that's concept art. Anime is a style of animation that's done in Asia, right? Not a lot of titles are coming to. Can you think of different titles? Totoro, that's anime, right? Miyazaki's feature films, that's anime.
Yeah, and then the manga, that's the one that is all graphic novels.
Yes.
So they do use concept artists, but I don't think it's the main objective. Concept artists would be more on the pre-production, they get the screenplay, the script, and they have to translate the screenplay into visuals, right? From the characters to the locations, exactly what you see on this page from Calvin. That's exactly what you gotta be doing. So who's the character or the characters, the locations, the functions, like the one that looks like a carpenter. So yeah, that would be more concept art, but it doesn't necessarily mean that would be anime, right? It's a complete separate, I guess, style, the anime and manga for sure.
And something to realize about anime and manga, guys, is it's only done in Asia, right? They don't create animation here in North America.
Yeah. Keep the questions coming. We're gonna have maybe time for 2 more. Here's one more. Someone's asking, okay, how does a professional portfolio look like? How does a professional portfolio look like? Like, what is that you want to see in a portfolio that you say this is production ready, maybe?
Once you're out of school, you're pretty much considered then professional if you're applying for work. For a student, is going to be there's not going to be a lot in there. If it's a demo reel, 30 seconds is all you need. In terms of drawings, you would want to show 2 or 3 model sheets of characters. You'd want to show environments. You'd want to show line work. You'd want to show tonal work, which is black and white. You want to show colored work, adding the color schemes. Vehicle props, things like that for concept.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, last question, everybody. Unless that I see one more question coming in, but this would be the last one so far.
Okay.
And it says, okay, what software studios use? It doesn't specify 2D or 3D, just is saying what software studios use.
You want to handle that for a second, Mario? Or?
Yeah. So depends on the studio, depends on the technique or the medium. If you are saying about 2D animation, there's typically Animate CC. That's the what you know about Flash in the past, like Animate CC
From Adobe.
From Adobe, that's a new software for sure. That's the industry standard. If you go to Studio, that means if you go to Studio, that's what they use. For 2D, also they may use Toon Boom.
Yep.
Right, and again, remember what I said before, like that every country, based on their budgets, because software it's paid, right? So some studios, they would be looking for more affordable, I guess, solutions. So Toon Boom would be one of them, and also one called TV Paint. For 3D animation, the #1 software is Maya. That's Maya. Any studio, including the big ones like Disney or Pixar or Sony, they use Maya.
That's from Autodesk.
Yeah, so if you want to learn any 3D software, you have to go for Maya. It's free, typically on the first year for students. And then Blender has been picking up lately. And again, if you go back to the countries, all the Latin American countries are using Blender. Many of the European countries, they use Blender. And Blender lately has been getting a really nice streak of development. So they have a lot of stuff, including 2D animation on Blender, which is nice. Then aside from that, you're going to move on to specialized positions like effects. They use Houdini. They use Nuke, right? They use compositing software. Photoshop's widely used.
For video games.
Oh yeah, games would be Unity. There's two main engines. Like there's a 1,000 engines, but there's two that are industry standard. Would be
The Unreal.
Unity and Unreal, both free for anyone to download and to start learning that software for sure.
Well, let's include this, that don't become obsessed with which software you're using, guys.
Yeah.
Studios are more concerned with what actually is on your demo reel or portfolio. You can learn quite quickly how to use a different software.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's more about you and less about the software. The software is just a tool that keeps on changing every 6 months. So quickly becomes obsolete. But what you have to focus is on you and your skills, your talent, and then you'll pick up any software, the software of the day, right? So that's would be the recommendation. That's when I saw that portfolio that has like pencil and paper. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's you.
I mean, when they're sculpting digitally, they were using ZBrush, but now Blender has sculpting and it's free.
Yeah, or Mudbox, right?
That's true.
Anyhow, let's then close the session. Thanks everybody for sending the portfolios. Hopefully this was useful and inspiring. It sure was for us to see all the work. And again, I personally like to see the work from all these different countries. And when the visuals open, it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, they have that influence from Argentina or Europe or Africa.
Keep up the good work, guys.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Cal.
All right. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Yeah, see everybody. Have fun. Keep on drawing, keep on animating.